Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Brian Whitten and ET Art. I'm going to call this one the last lesson because I think it is actually the last lesson, and it's actually a very important one. If we have a look at the rock on the screen, that's the one I finished off my last video with, which was New Kids on the Block. The two videos I put at the end of that video, where I've taken off this rock, were mind-blowing to say the least, and rather frightening, really quite frightening actually when you see some of the imagery and the beings and facial appearance of some of the people that are on that. It is really quite frightening. So I would imagine those leaders that are making the wrong decisions still are still making wrong decisions. They're going to regret that process. If we come back to the TV now, I will discuss the very important matter and lesson we're getting right here in a very short period of time. But before that, I do actually want to show you some more images off that rock, which is why I wanted to show you that at the start. I know taking the videos like this and the TV doesn't work out very well, but I just want to show you that we're actually getting a very deliberate line drawn around this point here. This shape here has got a very deliberate line on it, and there's highlighted points here, there's a highlighted point here and here, and I want to show you something. But I actually know where on the globe this is. It's actually talking about a country, and I'll show you what it is. This country, Sri Lanka. I know that's what it is because I'll show you a few images of it, and it highlights this city here, this one here, Colombo, this one here, and it also highlights on another part of the rock, this island with the lighthouse on it down here. I'll show you where they all are. I will go through this one here first. Now I'll just let that play, and I will move through here just so we can get a little bit closer to those portions that we actually want to watch. And I'll let this play just for a bit. We get highlighted these points here. There's one point up here that gets highlighted, and on this side, in this portion here, you see, like I said, I know when I do this with the television, it doesn't photograph very well. It's nowhere near like looking at the original, especially on this television. That's what we're seeing here, and you're getting imagery as you go through this. I might put this one, I won't put this one at the end because there is another one I actually want to put at the end. But I just wanted to show you initially that that shape here is more, without doubt, the shape of Sri Lanka. And I go back to there, you can see that that is the shape we're looking at, and I'll show you a few things on it that make it definitely the case. Okay, I just want to show you once that one is where the highlighters are, so in other words where we're getting our attention drawn. They normally do that with like a shiny piece of, a shiny reflector or something of that nature. I'll just let that play. The other thing that you see when you do this, on this portion of the rock here, you get a rather, well, like a lion's head or an ape's face. At other times it looks like a monkey. The one thing I do want to do is get it to where it looks a bit like a monkey, which is up here. I'll just let that play. The reason I wanted to show you that is because there is a mountain right in the middle of Sri Lanka. Well, actually, it's not right in the middle, it's a little bit more north, and it's called the Lion's Mountain, and it's the one with all the infrastructure built in at the top of it. I'm just going to move this down here slowly to see if I can't get at the point where it actually looks a bit like a monkey's face in here. About there. You start to see the nostrils come out here. I'll do an insert of a picture for you because I know you don't see it real clearly when I do this. just about here, is its nostrils here, and there's a monkey's face in here. And there are monkeys, like I say. The island itself has the mountain right here, out in that part there. And I just wanted to show you that you're getting these highlighters coming up here. I did want to show you the monkey, and then I'll show you some other bits and pieces. Now this is another part of the very same rock, but here what we're getting told is the south coast of Sri Lanka here. This is where we're told to have a look at this island here. I'm just going to press play and I'll show you how we know where we are outside of the line drawn on the rock there. Now is when I turn the light down and I start using the external light source, which is how you see most of the information that you see. You're getting really highlighted here, which is generally how they do this. They'll do a face like this, and then your highlighter will come out up here, and it's saying, look at this. You know, go and have a look at that bit. When you go there, on the map, Google Earth has that little island with a lighthouse on it. I just want to let this play for a little bit, not too long, because like I said, some of these will go for 5.5 minutes each, some of them 25. It depends on what I actually find. I just wanted you to be aware that we're getting one highlighter here, we're getting one highlighter here, and this one here we actually even see a bomb as well. So it's what we're getting at here is we're getting told there were multiple nuclear strikes in Sri Lanka only just on the weekend or the weekend prior, only from the 7th onwards, because they did the Australian cricket team went to Sri Lanka, and they're telling us that's when this attempt was. Now one thing you will see over in this section here, you will see, oh yeah, that's good, coming out now. I'll get that into a light where you can see the guy's head. He's wearing a turban. It's a royalty, it's a royalty of the Sri Lankan royalty. Here you see a guy's face come back out here with a black eye. So we know that the people behind it are these people that walk around with a black eye, like Richard Branson would be one. So to be worrying whether there's been a boat over here, you know, one of those P&O, I know he doesn't know that one, but certainly the P&O boat that was in our shores, it certainly brought in nuclear weapons into our shore. Has there been a P&O boat show up here anywhere? I don't know. It does imply on another part of the rock that it was a small boat that brought these nukes in here, or was met with nukes. But you certainly see in this video that portion up there, which turns into, like I said, a guy's head, and he looks like he's royalty. He looks like he's you know, an Asian fella. I want to say Asian, I meant, you know. Yeah, about there is where we see him start to come through. He's like a Sri Lankan king. He's got a crown on his head and everything like that. It doesn't look real good when I photograph the TV here. That's where you get the black eye. Here's the black eye comes around this guy's face. And like I said, the Black Eye Club, they're sort of implying that they've brought the nukes over to this one as well. There's a big city right in the middle here of Sri Lanka. So our highlighted points are here, here, here and over here. And they line up with exactly where the major cities are. This is once again a very interesting video, this one. I'll just minimise that and hide that. And I'll just let this play. You can see why I stop where I do sometimes when you see that type of imagery just with the normal microscope light. And like I said, I know it's not real clear here. I'll insert one of these for you at the end. But I see this sort of shape, and it already looks like somebody's face, so you're going to stop there. I wanted to put this one here just to show you that this looks like there's another boat involved here. In fact, this boat has round, you know, round things on the top of it, like a gas boat, or those ones that deliver gas. They normally have round things across, like this, across the top of them. So whether or not they've come in under that way, I don't know. The imagery that one shows you in real, it's actually unreal. That's only 5 minutes, that one. I might put that one in as well. But that one also tends to show me that there's boats being used, although at a point it does look like we could be looking at it, Ayers Rock here, and this could be the Great Australian Bight again. So are they saying in this one that they've had another go in the centre of Australia, or down here in Melbourne, that they've tried to hit Melbourne down this end? So who knows? Interesting thing, but I wanted to show you that one as well because I just said, like I said, it had a boat in it. At least it looked like a boat, this part here. When you've got the rock upside down, it looks like you're seeing the all-seeing eye. The people and faces that come out on this rock are absolutely mind-blowing. The reason why I wanted to show you that is to say to you, okay, well, we haven't really shown you anything that proves that Sri Lanka. I'm going to show you this one. This is the one I believe tells us without doubt it's Sri Lanka. This would be, like I said, at the moment the Australian cricket team's on tour there, and you can get this to a point, and I will try and, I actually should have written down the time that I get this right. This is the big rock with the buildings up on top of it, which is at Sri Lanka. And here is where we're actually getting made with the shadow here. I'll go along here a bit because I moved that a bit. I think I moved that over that rock. I'll just see that I do. Here we're actually getting a cricketer bowl the ball. That's what you're actually seeing. You're seeing a cricketer run in like this, and you've got this highlighter there. That's a stump getting knocked out of the ground, and they're all going, how's that? There's another one there that makes it even clearer than that. So that one there is the bowler with the stump knocked out of the ground, and his actions here are over the top with his arm. You can see his arm coming up here like this. The other one is this one. And like I said, the Australian cricket team are there at the moment, so it would be without doubt that they're talking about attempted nuclear strikes at Sri Lanka again. Why you would try such a thing after you've tried so many times already and it's failed, one wonders. I'm going to just move this along here a bit quicker so we're not... Now this is where we get the batsman in here, swinging his bat. I'll move this across here. This is where our batsman comes out here. I'm going to move this along a bit so I can get where the ball's in shot as well. Going over this way a bit, I move that this way, and there we can have our batsman hitting the ball here. I'll just move along a bit there so I can get that as best I can. You also note that actually right there is where it turns into a bomb, as we were showing you before, where you get the round, you can get a wick on it there, see? So this is where the bomb is. They're saying that well, I guess it's at the cricket ground, you know? Is that what we're saying? Is that what they're telling us? But right there is where you're actually getting the batsman playing his shot, knocking the ball out of here. Isn't that amazing? That's how you know where it is actually, where they're at. Australia are playing cricket there at the moment. So that is without doubt what we're getting told on this rock, that there are nuclear bombs being placed in Sri Lanka. Also note that his head comes up with all these spikes around it there, just like we've seen before, where they put a round ball. And that's where it's telling us. We've had a bowler and a batsman here. Whether that's actually a bowler, it could be a bowler I suppose, but the other one looks more like a bowler stance. That one looks like he's bashed it with his bat and it's going that way. But isn't that amazing that you would get that sort of information? I'll just let that play out a little bit. Now this is the one I'll put in full at the end of the video. Mostly I really got that nice and clear. It looks like, once again, like a monkey's face. It doesn't look as clear when I'm doing this, I do realise that. This is the one I'll put in full at the end of the video so you can get it as best quality as I get it anyway. If I go along here a little bit, you can see here's where you start to see his features come out here. It's almost like he's a, whether that's a line or it's very an unusual thing. I'll move it over here a little bit so I get more centered on that portion. And there's a couple of people's faces in here. But I'll put that in as clear, as good as I can get it. And there's some very interesting stuff on this rock, I can tell you that now. You'll also see that you get other shapes in here as well, like the Lion's Head mountain itself with in this portion here. Okay, so as I move the light around, it changes, and you'll see sometimes it will be a face, but other times it'll be a structure. You know. So I just wanted you to be aware. That's the one I'll put in at the end, and we'll have a look at our pyramid now. So now back to our pyramid. I have shown you this before many times. It is, I'm not saying it isn't doing what I said it does. In other words, record the speed and the tilted axis like this. Our timing markers here are the impacts. This one here is the bottom of South America. This one here is Central America. This one here is the creation of the Mediterranean. And this one here are all the impacts that separate Australia from Asia. When I look at this, and I know from the Serapeum, the movement of this first impact here knocks the planet up 100 miles. The other ones that hit in the Mediterranean push it down 500 miles. But the Australian ones that happened shortly after stopped the downward motion and put the planet on its tilted axis cycle for 6,000 years. When this happens, the Earth is standing straight, going around the Sun in a clockwise direction. That's what was happening. It was spinning on its axis anti-clockwise, and still is. But this whole process in 6,000 years is to change a straight planet going that way around the Sun, which is clockwise, back to a straight planet coming this way. This straightening of the axis here is 33 minutes. It would kill everybody. That's why they come back. That's why this is so big. But by any stretch of the imagination, as I've already told you, the 2,000-year cycle that creates this behaviour on our planet at the moment, with these men and women doing these unspeakable things with these children, it is just unheard of. But it is, in actual fact, only 2,000 years of the entire solar cycle of 337,000 years that problem exhibits itself. The whole cycle here for the rest of it is nothing to do with that. It's to do with us, aging us, making us look far older in our galaxy here than we do. That's why the Earth is rolled left, right and centre here, beyond the other boundaries, beyond Mars, the degradation of elements. All of these lessons that we're getting to this point are there for a reason. And the reason is that I believe we're being told here, as I said to you, that we know that the planet is knocked up 100 in the first instance, but it's knocked down. But what do we see with the Queen and King's chamber? We see an arrow at the top. They're both referring upwards here. So I don't think that message there is that. I actually think what happened is they tried to do very similar things that they do with our cycle. If I go back to the star array, if I bring our star array back up and say, okay, well, our star at the moment is in transition. It's going to become a 1. Okay, and I would expect from this that many people have to leave Earth. About just over 3 billion go there, and just under 4 billion stay here. If they tried to do the same thing as this in the original galaxy, but more towards the centre, in other words, what we've got going around the outside of here is 3 red dwarf stars. They're aging bluffing the system as such. They may have tried to do this in the centre of the galaxy, their galaxy. And in doing so, what they've done is create a problem here where these red dwarf stars that were cycling around this thing, giving us and creating these ages, in actual fact, started a process on star X here, which is a major problem, caused the problem. I actually reckon they created a black hole right in the middle of the galaxy they came from. If I go back to the pictures now of the pyramid, so now if we come back to our pyramid and just run that by the pyramid and see if it's telling us such a thing, because I believe it is. I think this is why we're seeing these arrows upwards. I think they actually didn't get a leap of faith as such. They got to a point of where they had to come through the black hole whether they wanted to or not, because it was actually devouring their galaxy. And they've started a black hole doing the same type of process. It's then pulled the galaxy in. At the time of this building of the pyramid, they're saying to us, yeah, well, okay, there's this much of it come through the black hole already, but there's this much mass still left on the other side. When we come across here and we look at our movement here, we're sure we know that what happened here in respect how the comets were delivered. But what we're seeing here, if we're talking about that being the width of a galaxy, their galaxy, they're saying, okay, well, what we did was we waited until we got to here. So we're at a third of the galaxy's gone, and then they've jumped through. Because they had to. They had to find out what's on the other side. They would have had to have a go. There would have been a lot of unanswered questions here. Where's the rest of the galaxy going? They would have had to move any people that were living in closer to the centre of this galaxy out to the extremities of the galaxy. That's what I'm saying. These are moved back up here because this is the extremities of the galaxy, and they're shrinking in like this as the galaxy is being pulled through the black hole. I swear that's what that lesson is telling us. I really do. I think it's going to be right. And that would explain why, when they got to the other galaxy, go straight to the outside where we are now, and they're running us with the oldest particles. So they may have waited here millions of years for this to actually happen. Imagine their leaders sitting down saying, well, what we'll do is we'll go there in about 10 million years, or 20 million years. They may have told us, in actual fact, that from that point there to what we've got left here, may have moved in 13 million years. The 13 million years we've been here, because we know if they jump there, well, that's probably when they arrived, not long after. 13 million years ago, they go out to the outer, because of what they're telling us here is the oldest. The old saying, everything old is new again. I think that's what happens when you transfer through a black hole. It's like all the elements here haven't got a signature of their date anymore, the DNA and so on. Everything has changed. It's like everything fresh again. So they're going to go to the extremities after they've waited as many millions of years as they've had to here, to make sure that the particles and elements they're working with over here were in actual fact something they could work with. So it's why they've waited as long as they have, moved the other people away from the centre of the galaxy here, until such time as this shrunk, until the galaxy had shrunk on that much and that much mass had been pulled through. I actually think that's our lesson here, which is probably why I make the video again, because like I said, they're still giving me these rocks that say, listen, we know you've done this now, that's Sri Lanka, that's a game. You people ever learn? The rest of them didn't go off, so why the hell would you go back to Sri Lanka? It's beyond stupid. It really is. You've tried it how many times now? And you still try. The same thing. They're going to know everything you do. I've told you 1,000 times. They know everything you're going to do long before you do it. But they're telling us, right there, as big as your mistakes are, they've made a lot bigger ones. They nearly destroyed the entire galaxy, and they've moved their galaxy from wherever it was to where we are right here and now. So we're waiting for the rest of their galaxy, and this would also explain why seed has been taken from here backwards, back again to people over here. It may have been a part they couldn't get around by, doing all the fancy things with planets and stars and all that sort of thing, and they actually needed to take seed back from people that had run through this thing we've got now. Right, we've only been in the galaxy for DNA perspective. We have the signature of somebody with a 400 or 500 million year old, background. That's what they do here. They do this by creating that field and cycling the sun and moon and everything as they do. It actually makes us look far older than we do, as far older than we've been in this system for. And like I said, it's not just us, it's the animals, the elements, everything. Really quite an amazing bunch of people, and to think that one of the lessons is that when we got here, we look like us right now. That's exactly what the lesson says. The lesson says when we arrived, we look right as we do now, all the people that are on Earth. And this is probably, I would expect, this tilted axis cycle, the last 2,500 years, is the only time that all of us can actually live on Earth together at the same time. We certainly didn't evolve in a single planet, single star system. We evolved in a multi-planet binary star system. So that is what I wanted to mention with you today, and like I said, I will put a video in and put it in its best quality, and you can see that as clearly as I watch it, and it really is, some of them are amazing. Now if we look at the image on the screen at the moment, you'd wonder whether or not it was something they did accidentally in creation, in creating an imbalanced mass at the end of, or an imbalanced mass at the center of the galaxy, and that is actually drawn more because of the high speed rotation way faster than what it was already spinning at. Whether or not that changed the mass and unbalanced the center of the galaxy, causing a black hole, or whether or not it's actually part and parcel of how the universe expands. Are there black holes that move mass further away from the center of the universe? Who knows? I'm certainly not going to work that one out, I can assure you that. But if we look at what we're seeing here, I believe that that's what we're getting told, that the galaxy that we live in was the original galaxy, but it wasn't here, it was somewhere else, the other side of the black hole. Now whether, like I said, whether it be a mistake or whether it be something that happens naturally every now and then, one would wonder, I mean, they've sat in their galaxy or their home galaxy for some 600 million years. I tend to think it was probably dabbling in the same processes towards the center of the galaxy that may have caused the problem, but I'm sure we'll get told all those stories, or at least the truth of all such things, when they get here. And as far as the rest of you lot are concerned, this is the ones that have told us a complete load of rubbish for our history and keep going around the world trying to blow everybody up and kill everybody. Oh, I can just tell you this thing, I know these people coming here are far more patient than I, because I've lost my patience with you lot, without doubt, and I have been like that for a long time, even knowing what it is that causes your problem. You get told and told and told, but you keep doing the wrong things. You keep trying to kill people instead of fronting up and just saying what the story is. We've still got the US Congress pretending they don't know what UFOs are. It's just pathetic. They all know why they're here, they all know why they're coming back. Like I said, everything old is new again is an old song from a long, long time ago. How many songs actually contained lyrics that seem to explain what in reality is really happening? That's really quite amazing. Listen, I think I'll finish up there today, but I will, like I said, I have promised I'll put a little video at the end in good quality so you can watch that. As for me, I think I'm finished now. So that's all from Brian Whitten and ET Art. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.